Hello, everyone, and thanks for tuning in to LandscapeToday.net's weekly Weather U.S. Outlook. I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day. Well, there's a lot going on. We're looking at the new year bringing a new weather pattern. Some of it welcomed and some of it maybe not, depending on your perspective. Let's first of all take a look at our long-range outlook in the week ahead, but also what's going on now. Here is the latest forecast chart with the jet stream. This is where we are on Tuesday. We see the West Coast seeing a trough coming in, bringing California those promised El Nino rains. The East, this high pressure ridge right here came out of Canada, so much colder weather did come into the East, 11 degrees in Central Park Tuesday morning. And we're looking at the flow of moisture being the best it's been all winter into California. The El Nino rains, which were promised after the beginning of the year, are finally here. As we take a look at the long-range charts into next Monday, we see that the jet stream does bring high pressure temporarily to the West Coast, while a big trough digs into the Rockies and points east into the West Coast, into the East Coast and Midwest. This is going to give California a break from the rain later this weekend and early next week, as they'll see a bit of a dry slot temporarily develop. But the big story for you folks that live in the Rockies East, all the way to the Mid-Atlantic, the Northeast, the Great Lakes, and even into areas that have been very warm this winter here in the South, do be ready for much colder air. This is a pipeline of cold coming right off of the highest latitudes. So starting this weekend and next week, the midsection of the nation to the south and to the east through the Great Lakes will be much colder. The big question will be, will this cold be associated with just a little bit of snow or a lot of snow in some areas? And that's something we're not sure of. But anytime we get a pattern like this, where the cold Arctic air comes in along the East Coast, is that a lot of times we get development of storm systems here. Even though the models might not show it yet, we could have some East Coast weather that could get very interesting in the next 7 to 14 days. After a very mild and spring-like winter season so far, things looking a lot more winter-like for those areas. Now, precipitation coming over the next week. This is over the next 7 days. We can see two areas to highlight. First of all, look at these predicted rainfall totals along the West Coast. These are the El Nino rains we've been hoping for. We have some areas in South Central and Central California that could see anywhere from 4 to 8 inches of liquid equivalent in the form of rain and high Sierra snows. The average snowpack in the Sierras that are over 130% of normal. And those snowpacks will grow while some beneficial rains will hit the lower elevations. Also noticed here in Arizona, this is a classic El Nino pattern here. Las Vegas, all of Arizona, the Four Corners region, St. George, even into places like Santa Fe, looking at some good snow and rain coming in as well in that part of the country. Also, notice the very wet portions of the midsection of the United States with where the flooding has been. There's going to be more precipitation as well, although it's much lighter than it's been, and you can thank the colder weather for that. And some of this, especially in this area north of this line, is going to be snowfall in the week ahead. So let's take a look at the major weather trends. El Nino rains and snows for California this week, a break this weekend, but we expect El Nino to pick up again later in the following week. But the best rains will come over the next 4 days. Now, colder east of the Rockies by the weekend and next week, something to really watch for. Still wet in the south and southeast, not as wet as it's been. Now, for you folks in the south and southeast, it's been very warm this winter, but do be ready in the next 7 to 10 days for temperatures to be getting much colder, and likely into the end of the month and into early February as well. Thanks for tuning in to LandscapeToday.net. As we look ahead into the weeks coming, we'll update you next week. Tune in to LandscapeToday.net for more weather updates. I'm day weather meteorologist Don Day.